Well, how's it going, everybody? Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes here on the Daybreak Show. I have via Zoom video conference a great conversation about something that a lot of folks perhaps, well, they're going to have a little time over this next couple of days to think about this, and maybe a new job could be in their future. Taylor, Egardo, and how are you doing this morning?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
As a project coordinator and partnership development for the Thurston County Chamber, and we're going to talk a little bit about Find Work Friday. And this is a big deal for a lot of folks. A job is so much more than just a paycheck for people. It's their identity. It helps find purpose in their lives. And we have just been such a struggle over the last many months because of the pandemic and everything. And now's the time for folks to maybe reevaluate, refocus, and look ahead to 2021. And maybe this is a great way to do it, either from the employer side or the employee side.
Yeah, absolutely. But just like you said, Jeff, Find Work Friday is truly a solution that we would try to make sure that is affordable for all of our region. I am also a Worksource staff. So I serve the business customer on behalf of Pack Mountain Workforce Development Council. So we have strong ties with the local Worksource office there in your area as well. As a matter of fact, we used to host Find Work Friday once a month at the local Worksource office there. And since COVID, we've kind of had to figure out how to pivot that. And we found a virtual platform that works pretty well for both of our customers, both the job seeker and the businesses. So virtual life, right? Yeah, absolutely. The overall,
Yeah, that's right.
yes, exactly. We not only did Worksource was hosting Find Work Friday in your local county, but across our whole 5-county region. So Lewis, Thurston, Mason, Grace Harbor, and Pacific, there was always a Find Work Friday happening once every Friday. So that it was kind of cool to know that if you came into your local Worksource office, you can connect directly with recruiters and just ask a little bit about their company culture. So that's one thing that we know is missing, is that face-to-face interaction that does a lot for connecting with a new career opportunity. However, we're able to offer a lot more businesses now because we couldn't fit 50 businesses once every Friday in a Worksource office. But with the virtual platform, we have up to 50 businesses we can have, but we've been averaging about 30. So our last event had 30 employers, including Worksource, it's a resource booth. And then we had upwards of 300 job seekers. On average, we do 300 job seekers.
This is a great thing. We've talked about job fairs over the last couple of months up for the veterans at JBLM, and they virtually, I think, for the last time here. And it really does help a lot of folks who may not be able to get, even if you go to a in-person job fair where there may be 30 to 50 businesses, you may not necessarily make the time to get to each one of those, whereas the virtual aspect has got to be a real game changer for folks. So let's start on the employee side, the person looking for the job. What are some resources they should have with them, either printed out on their desk so they can look at it, or a PDF to rapidly send to somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. Good tools for success, right? So you hit it right on the head. We say dress for success. This is a chat-based interaction. So there is no video face-to-face conversation that you have with the recruiter. But once you do find interest with the business that's attending, you just click on their little tile and it's like basically entering their table, if you will, a table with all the swag on it, like the in-person hiring events, except for it's just like a miniature marketing virtual booth. And once you select chat, you're instantly connected with a recruiter. And the chats can last anywhere from 7 to 15 minutes. It really just depends on the time that's afforded. And it's helpful to have a resume with you. When you register, there's going to be an option for you to attach your resume. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that because that resume is floating around with you throughout the whole hiring event. And recruiters can see that and they can invite you to come talk to them. And you can learn about positions that maybe you didn't know you were qualified for, or maybe didn't even think you had interest in. So that resume is a really big, big component of it. And we do say dress for success because it kind of just gets you in the mindset of being able to be on your A game. You get to connect with these employers from the comfort of your very own home. So yes, being in your robe sounds appealing, but we do think that if you dress for success, you get in that mindset of I'm here, I'm worthy, and I'm going to show them what I got. So we do ask for the resumes and for you to kind of just get in the mindset that makes you feel confident. But other than that, there's other resources that Worksource offers through virtual services that can help you prep. Say if you haven't had an interview in quite some time, or if you need to update your resume. And that's pretty much where a lot of people are these days with career changes.
It is again on worksourcewa.com. We'll put the links to that in the show notes here when we post this interview. But we've talked with Worksource over the years too here on the show, and it's a great company, great organization that does a lot of good. And as I think about this now from the employer side, if you were to have a place in each of the 5 counties and every Friday, that could be perhaps a kind of a logistical nightmare for the company itself. And I've been to some of these day events, and oftentimes, perhaps due to scheduling conflicts or what have you, the main recruiter who could, for themselves, put the company in the best foot forward may not be able to even be at that event. So being able to directly interact with that recruiter and ask the questions, they're the ones that'll have the direct answers, as opposed to somebody who they called up the night before and says, "Oh, we need somebody to fill the booth."
Yeah, exactly.
They show up,
Yep.
what they're talking about. That's a good one for the employers as well. What are some of the different types of jobs that you've seen either posted during this or that folks have been able to find during this?
Yeah, we have a unique slew of different employers, which is very intentional. It's one of the main reasons why I wanted to come and join and talk to you today, so that local employers understand that this is an opportunity that they can take advantage of, because it's free. It's free for everybody to sign up. All we ask for is your time. But we have anywhere from construction workers to warehouse workers to some teacher and education opportunities as well. Healthcare positions are on there. Cabela's has a whole bunch of different positions that they're offering and looking for. Crown and Cork is one that we have on there. They do some pretty cool things, making the soda pop cans that we all drink out of for certain distributors. And they actually have a hiring event coming up soon too, a solo one, but they'll be at Feinberg Friday for December 11th as well. So just a whole bunch of different variety of positions. We're really trying to bring in employers who offer entry level, but then also high level positions. Based off of customer feedback, we understand where our job seekers are because of the pandemic. Some people haven't had to look for a job in 20 years. And we're an expert at their level and unfortunately got laid off. So we want to make sure that we have opportunities for that type of candidate. But then we also have people who are looking for their first time jobs because they need extra income or their household just needs extra support. So we're also being very considerate of those type of positions as well.
Folks are encouraged and heavily encouraged to go to worksourcewa.com to start this journey if they have not already. It's got under the resources, classifieds, information about vets, job boards, as well as various career tools, including budget calculators. I mean, it's a whole host of things that folks who are getting back on that right foot forward can utilize for sure. So again, people can go on the website now and start looking at these opportunities. But then kind of December 11th is definitely something folks should mark on their calendar. Is there an RSVP? Is there a link that we're able to share that they can then have on their calendar to pop up and remember the 11th? Or how do we?
Yeah, for both job seekers and businesses, Worksource will have the link for job seekers by the end of this week. It's the holidays, things are kind of moving a little bit slow coming up here. But if you check by Friday, by the end of this week on Friday, there should be something on there that allows you to directly sign up. You'll answer just a couple of questions. It's really just about your first name, last name, and you need to upload the resume as well. And then you're all signed up, easy peasy, and it's done. You can also give me a call at 360-357-3362. We can also include that in the notes. If you ask directly for me, I'm available to walk you through any questions or the overall registration process as well. For employers, contacting me would be best. Worksource does have my email address, and then I can give my email address to Jeff too for you guys. But 360-357-3362. If for any businesses who want to be involved as well, give me a call. That process of setting up your booth works best if we start with the conversation first.
So here's a question for you. If somebody's got their resume and they're ready to go, digital, it's a little different because people are scrolling down and reading. But back in the day, they had the print one, you printed it out, they say keep it to a page or things like that. Are those rules kind of out the window these days? Or what are some of the standards for a cover letter or resume for folks if they haven't done it in years?
Yeah, no, very good question. Again, this is something that the Worksource virtual services can dive deeper into details to support you with. For this event in particular, cover letters aren't really needed unless the employer specifies, but this is a really first connection. We want to get you connected. We want your name to stand out on that recruiter's mind when they look through all the resumes and applications. But for resume purposes, a good etiquette is just to put only your first name and your last name and some information about maybe the city that you live in, and then just dive deep into your experience and dive deep into that about me and why I would be a great new fit for your company. I would leave a lot of the details out of personal, that things like age. If you have education on there, absolutely put it on there. But I would just really focus on updating your experience for those who have not touched their resume in quite some time. Really good, some good words in there that really speak to who you are and your work ethic.
When I do these conversations, I try to think about that and go through my daily day at the radio station or whatever. And sometimes it's hard to put down in words what you do and then how that could be applicable for industry outside of what you're currently doing.
Yeah.
But Source I know has got great folks there to help craft those types of things as well. Taylor Egardo, good to talk with you. And I hope you have a great Thanksgiving here tomorrow and have a nice into December and put 2020 behind us here, and hope we'll get some good folks, some good jobs here at Worksource.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to support. This is a great community resource that everybody should at least tap into if they need it. Happy holidays.